Welcome to part 1 of Distilling, Home Distilling the Easy Way by stevejamesbarr. Now, the first thing what we've done is we've emptied out our wash, we've cleaned and sterilised our brewing bucket or fermenter or whatever you want to call it. And now I need this 5 litre jug. This 5 litre jug will help me with not having to go back and forward to the thing. This hot tap water, and 6 kilograms of sugar goes into the fermenter. That makes 6. We're aiming for a temperature of around about 24 degrees, ideally. We'll just tip that in there. And I've got 6 kilograms of sugar in there. Now I get 1 5 litre container of hot tap water. Pour that in until it was cold. Now I've got a neat little device to show you. It's an electric drill with this little fitting. Looks a bit like a paint stirrer, but it helps to stir up the sugar, and later on you'll see it will also help in degassing. That's mixed up. About 5 litres of cold water in. Check our temperature, it's at 24, so we want to keep it around there. So we'll put more hot in. Fun, fun, fun. And what we're going to do is we're going to add, once we've got it up to 21 litres, we're going to add our Turbo Classic Still Spirits Turbo Classic yeast, which has yeast enhanced or yeast nutrients as well. Hot. I don't know where I'm going to need all of it. The temperature. I've purposely stuck the thermometer on to stop at 21 litres, so I know exactly where to stop. And that's it. Give it a mix up. Now it's time to add still for turbo classic use. Classic turbo use. Oh, my goodness, yeah. And I don't know if you can see that, that's what it looks like. Dump that in. And begin to stir until it's thoroughly mixed in. Pretty much good. Rightio. We've got to leave that 4 to 6 days it says, but this is winter, so we're looking at about probably a week, and then we'll put the clearing agent in. I'll show you that next. Okay, this is part 2 of distilling the easy way from stevejamesbarr. Today, it's been 6 days, and it's a 4 to 6 day wash. Yeast, so I'm going to check the gravity reading. And it is 0.990, which is what we want. And we'll just and this is the Still Spirits Turbo Clear. As you can see, if you come in closer, you've got part A, which goes in first, and part B, which goes in second. Part A is I'm not sure what it is actually. Yeah, well, it's clearing agent anyway. You put part A in, and then an hour later you put part B in. So I'm not going to bore you with the details of doing that, but needless to say, that needs to be done. This is the end of part 2. Okay, I just thought I'd finish part 2 by I forgot to tell you that you need to aerate to degas the wash, and this little neat device saves a lot of work with one of these. You can use one of these and sit there and go like this. But that's the hard way. The easy way is with the electric drill. And that's degassed, and it has the part A and part B of the wash, the turbo clear in there. I then put the lid back on, and I put that on top of that barrel so that I know that this one is the one that's due to be going through distill tomorrow. This one I've only put down yesterday or the day before, something like that, and yeah. So I hope that that's, so far what we've said is the usual. Welcome to part 3 of Home Distilling the Easy Way from stevejamesbarr. We've now put the clearing agent through and left it for a day and a half, which is half a day longer than you need to. So now what I'm going to do is attach my tube, which goes into the still. Remove the lid. Take the lid off the still. Put that aside. Now we're gonna just into it, a little liquid over here. I'm going to drain that into the still. And just adjust it. I hope it's facing the right way. And as you can see down here, make it sweat up. As you can see down here, that's the trub. That's the trub, that's all the yeast particles that are sealed to the bottom, and that's fairly clear. You're a good helper. Got my prize helper here. Yeah, he's helping Daddy. Okay, I'll let this drain out, and then I'll show you the next step. We'll be right back. Alright, we've got the wash is in the still, the lid's on, the new batch is in the fermenter. I didn't bother showing you that because we've been through that. We now lift this still up to the bench, making sure to get the outlet hose on the other side, and then connect this rubber hose to the cold water, and this is our water outlet. And what we do is we prime. I just need to turn that around a little bit. So that our plug reaches. We plug that in there. And it simply clamps together like that. We then prime the condenser, the reflux in the reflux head in the condenser. Just run it until the water comes out and turn it off. We also use a digital thermometer. Sits in the top. And if you have a look in here, you should be able to see the ceramic saddles. The ceramic saddles. I don't know if you can actually see them or not, but they're these little puppies. That's what they are ceramic saddles. And they are inside here down to about here, filled up. And they help to when the steam is coming off the wash, it comes up through here, and the ceramic saddles with their rough outside exterior grab onto the water and drop it back down into the wash, and then you just get a good high percentage of alcohol come out of it. So
that goes into there. We then, because we're going to discard the first 50 mils, we just use my bench is on a slant running inwards, so I've got to have it like that. We discard, you can discard between 50 and 100 mils, but I discard 50 and I find it perfectly fine. So our temperature at the moment is 14 degrees. We're looking at turning the water on when it gets to about 73, 74. The way I've found this still to be at its best. Okay, so I'm going to let that'll take about an hour and a half to come up to temperature, and then it'll run for another around about 2.5 hours, and then I'll have my wash. Okay, so we'll get back to it. I'm not going to bore you with waiting for 4 hours of filming, so we'll get on with the task at hand, and we will be back. Over now. Okay, we've got our temperature right up now. We're going to get the first 50 mils and discard it. I'm going to put this container underneath here. That's 75. Can you zoom into that?
I don't know where you zoom in.
We'll just go in close to it so you can see it. No, you can't really see it, but it's at 78. Down here, so you can see the amount. See, when it hits that dot, I transfer over to and we're there. Maybe one, so it's going to be a little bit more water. 82, a little bit more water. And it should stabilise it'll stabilise between 80 and 85, and I like to keep it between there, but at the very tail end I can allow it to go to 86, and we'll get back to you when we've got just about 3.5 litres of distillate. Over and out. And she's running at a fairly good flow rate, going through the reflux head and the condenser, coming out the outflow, and it's fair pumping. We've now got about 830 or 40 mils, and this is our filter pump, and we'll just show you how that works. Okay, now what we're going to do now that we've got a litre is we're going to take a alchemieter reading, and that consists of just pouring at least 100 mils into here. Okay, I've got more like 200. We've got our glass beaker, or whatever you want to call it, tester. We pour that in. Then take our alchemieter and place that in there. And that is at don't know if you can see that. It's bang on 85, probably 85%, which is pretty good, which is what we're after. Anything over 80, you're doing alright. Now, I'll pull that back in there. Now, the filter. Take that up, put that on there. And we have this that holds the cartridge underneath. Goes through like that, and you get these two little foam filtration systems, little O-rings, and we get this replacement cartridge. It does one batch up to 10 litres, but I only get to the 8 litres. So that should be sealed. Yep, that's sealed. Then put one of these filters on each end. Hold it upside down. Put the fastening nut on the end of it. And then we pull it in and line it all up.
Computer.
And I'll just zip out and get a litre of water. So I can't take it from the tap because I'm distilling from there. And we then take our 1 litre of water and we just simply pour it in the top. If you have a look underneath here, you see it start to come, it'll start to come out of the pores of the carbon cartridge. And if you have a look in there, you'll see it's quite dirty because that's activating the carbon, and we chuck that out and give it a rinse out. Okay. And then once we've put that litre of water through, we then discard that litre of water, rinse out this with a clean cloth, rinse out this with a clean cloth, and it is ready for use. We've just about got our 3.5 litres, so we'll show you more soon. Okay, now we've finished our distillation. We've got our 3.5 litres, and we're going to unplug the still, turn off the water, and let it, the last few drops go in there. It's not really over important, it's not going to make much difference to anything. So what I'll do is and that's 3.5 litres at about 84.5%, 85%. So we know from experience that we tip 3.5 litres into there. We then remove that fitting. The water will drain out of it. Put that there.
What?
No, but and we now make 4.5 litres, which will bring it down to 40%. So we've now got 8 litres in there. Just put the lid on. Give it a shake up. Using one of these containers. We'll fill this up. And we should, in theory, have 40% ready to go through silver. Get close and look at that. Go right in close so you can see the numbers. Come over this way.
No cookies.
No, come back. That shows you it's bang on 40%. So what we now do is we take that out. That was bang on 40. Now just that back into there. That back into there. We set up our catch tray, and you'll see why I need that in a minute. According to this, here we've got bang on 8 litres. So if you have a look down in here, I don't know if you'll see it quite yet, it gets quite dirty. Yeah, don't worry about it. But what I do is I let that run for 5 minutes, well, for about 2 minutes, and then I'll do this quickly so that it doesn't take too long on the video. And then I put that top catcher onto there, just to catch it. I stir that up, pour that back in the top, and I may have to, sometimes I've had to do it 3 times. So, but actually it's looking like, and that tastes like water. That's good to go. Okay, we'll be on with part part 4, I think it is, or 5. Tomorrow when I come to get this, all of the distillate that's in the top half will have gone through the carbon filters, which you can see under there, working itself away, and it will all be in the bottom, and then it will be ready for tapping off into bottles like so. But I will pour it into jugs like that, and then I've got a litre there, I will then welcome to the final part in the series of Home Distilling the Easy Way from stevejamesbarr. Okay, what we've now got is all of the distillate is transferred through the carbon filter into the bottom pack. There is 8 litres in there. I now can take that off, unscrew this carbon cartridge, I now discard that cartridge, put the foam pieces in the bottom, and they've gone very thin. They will actually prop back up again by the next time I need to use them. And I'll actually put that there and you'll see why shortly. I've got my 8 bottles here. I've got my jug that points out 1 litre, but I don't go quite to a litre. I leave room for the flavouring to go in it. So we'll get on with the first one. Might as well start at the back. And just take stain test it. What I actually do is I just lift this and put it in. It's a bit quicker. And if we don't achieve quite 8 litres, it's quite acceptable because I've actually got a partial bottle left from my last run, so I can top it up if it's slightly under, or if it's slightly over, I'll put the excess in that bottle as well. So I only use 750 mils of alcohol at 40% to make up a liqueur, because you use 200 mils of liqueur base and a 50 ml flavouring, and you make it up to a litre, which leaves 750 mils. The last 3 bottles. As you can see, it's not a really difficult process. The main thing you've got to do, the main 2 things you've got to bear in mind is you've got to let it ferment all the way out. And if it doesn't ferment all the way out, there'll be a reason. It'll be something to do with your fermentation temperatures, because this yeast is relatively forgiving, but it needs to be between 23 and 26, 7 degrees. If it goes over that, you'll kill your yeast off. If it goes under that, the yeast won't activate properly. It will not. It just won't ferment. So you can momentarily go below those temperatures and then put a heat belt on or go above them and open a few windows or turn your air conditioning on or something. But if you go a day at too high or too low a temperatures, you're going to get less distillate at the end of it because it won't ferment all the way out. Last bottle, let's see what we got. Oh, we've got slightly over. You just see how much we got. That's 8 litres. Point 0.3. So that was a good run. That's actually quite a good run because generally I get around 8, between 7.9 and 8.1. So to get 8.3 and it to still be, tasting damn good is a good thing. Now I'll just get my partial bottle out. Oh, it's not a partial bottle. What is it? What I'll do is here I've got my 9th bottle, with using part of the other batch. And this is bottle number 9, and we should now have about 200 ml. Yep, just over 200 ml. So now, that goes in there, that goes on there, that sits in there, and that's ready to be stored away. Now, what we need to do, fire the lid on all of these. This bottle here to flavour up. This just goes in the rubbish. It's useless. It's been used once. They're a single-use cartridge. They're about $8.50 for a single-use cartridge. So a bottle of this, as it sits right here, owes me around about $4, $4.50. By the time I put a flavouring in it, see, this is the smoky bourbon that Craig's tried and that Radio Max tried, that Memorax 88 has tried, that Gav has tried. And as you can see here, it makes 5 litres. It's a 50 ml bottle. So obviously for 1 litre you'd use 10 mils, which I am about to do. Put my finger over the end. There's the 10 mil mark right there. Put that back with the other flavourings. Really help along. Rinse the syringe out. Put our lid on. make the bourbon. We'll just, it's best if you leave it for about, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes before you try it. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to try a hell of a lot. I'll just have a little wee sip. I mean, it's only, what's the time? 9:30 in the morning. And you can really smell the smokiness of it. Bottoms up. Cheers. And I'm glad that you guys were interested enough to get me to do this video, and big shout out to the 17 Brew crew and everyone involved, especially Gav. Yeah, 17. That's good. That is god dang good. 17, over and out.